So sometimes watching people develop their intuition and strengthen their connection to their spirit guides breaks my heart because it reminds me of the struggles that I used to have when I was trying to develop my intuition. So I wanted to make this video and let you guys know that you have my heart, you have my compassion. I know it sucks, I know it's hard, but I wanted to give you a few tips for working on your intuition and having a stronger communication with your angels. The first thing that I thought that was really important to tell you guys is the fact that nothing ruins your connection like self-doubt. And I mean nothing. If you are lacking confidence or you think you suck, then you do. If you think your connection to your spirit guide sucks, then it does. You end up manifesting it. It's considered like a limited belief or an energetic block. You do. And unfortunately, you have to believe to achieve, and you have to have faith. So faith says, believe and I'll show you. I guess science says, show me and I'll believe. So this is faith. And you really have to have faith in yourself and your own abilities, as well as faith in God, his angels, them being there to guide you, their existence, their presence in your life, etc. So if I were teaching a class, as far as I would be concerned, everyone in the class would be the messiah of psychic abilities, because I have to keep your confidence high, because you have a much higher chance of connecting if I do. So, you're going to be in a very, very delicate phase where you're like, I'm not sure about this. I'm kind of scared. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of on rocky territory here and unsure ground. So you're going to be in somewhat of a sensitive and delicate state. So that's where I'm going to suggest fake it till you make it. Fake confidence is better than no confidence. But, people are going to be real sensitive to whether or not they're right or wrong. And suppose a student is reading me. I'm not going to be so quick to tell them that they're incorrect. I'm probably just going to sit there and listen to them and be like, okay, keep going. Okay, keep going. And then after they're done reading me, I'll tell them. But while they're doing it, maybe, they get something correct and then they get something incorrect and then the next three things are correct. Their confidence is going to wane if I go after them for that one thing that was incorrect. I want them to keep going. Because what happened while they were reading me, their thought interrupted. They had their own thought that didn't come from their brain that interrupted and just got stuck in there. But I'm going to see that everything else came from my angels. So I'm going to be like, good job. Good job. Because as far as I'm concerned, that was a pretty good thing for, someone just starting out. So confidence is a very, very sensitive thing. And it waxes and wanes. It goes back and forth. It goes up and down. And I'm telling you, if you lack self-confidence in your ability, it's going to hurt you. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So believe in yourself and give yourself a break, because the world isn't going to. This world is not going to give you a break. They're going to come down hard on you, cast shame at you, tell you you're crazy, etc. So give yourself a break. Be kind to yourself and just be like, all right, I'm still learning. Let's keep moving ahead. Don't give up. Don't give up on the process. Don't give up on your angels. Don't start to think they don't exist. Don't become skeptical. Don't get mad. Just be patient and loving with yourself, because you'll get there. So that's what I want you guys to experience a nice, relaxed, calm environment. I don't have any classes yet, but I probably will down the road. I think they're in person, but we'll see what happens with my life purpose as it unfolds. So I want you guys to be proud of yourself. I want you guys to, practice and be proud and say, oh, I kicked butt. I kicked butt. And give yourself rewards for small achievements. Because you want to have that positive reinforcement associated with your intuitive development, oh, I did well today. I did a lot of work today. I'm going to focus on rewarding myself for that. And another thing that bothers me is people who try to learn this stuff in their bedroom by themselves. well, I'm going to meditate and let's see what happens. The burden's on my angels. It's like the burden's not always on your angels. The burden's actually on you to learn how to do it. And that's one of the reasons why I seriously encourage you guys to find local spiritual centers or find some online classes to take, because you getting formal instruction is going to be important instead of just trying to figure this out yourself. It's great to learn the tricks of the trade from those people that have been doing it forever. James Von Prague has been doing it for over 30 years. He has like several videos, got an online school, where you can learn and you can have that formal instruction and learn how he does what he does. One of the things he does is, I guess he inhales light and exhales dark, which I thought was very clever for raising your vibration. But he has a lot of tools for, how to connect and with your angels. So just remember that. But I don't want you to sit there and get frustrated because it's not happening for you when you really haven't had anyone hold your hand or teach you. So try to seek out that formal instruction. Try to give yourself those formal classes and believe in yourself in the process. Another thing is I wanted to talk to you guys about dependence. I have several videos talking about how I used to drink alcohol like every day. And I always referred to myself as alcohol dependent because I had a job that stressed me out. So I would drink wine or sake to bring myself down a notch. That was how I had fun. I never had fun without a drink in my hand, let's put it that way. But one of the reasons why I never referred to myself as an alcoholic was reason one was because I felt like I was insulting alcoholics who earn their stripes and I didn't. But there's a second reason for that I never told you guys. I used to drink alcohol to get myself buzzed on purpose. It was very, very deliberate. I used to do it on purpose. And there's a reason for that. I did it on purpose in order to connect with them. It's because it opened me up. Because what are you doing towards meditation? You're trying to quiet your mind. I'm trying to move Christine Pavlina aside so that my angels can take over and communicate with me. So if I'm trying to move Christine Pavlina aside, I'm trying to quiet my mind. So alcohol does the same thing. And I definitely don't recommend it because the other side kept telling me that I did not need alcohol to connect, and I kept saying that I did. I had a limited belief in an energetic block. And they kept saying, you don't need it, and I kept saying, I need it. We kept going back and forth, and I argued with them for years, and I never stopped drinking over that time period. I obviously don't drink anymore, but back then I kept doing it to connect. So I would drink alcohol, and then I would do automatic writing and just start writing. But what happens when you open yourself up with alcohol or ayahuasca, which is, a hallucinogenic drug, because they combine ayahuasca tea with, other plant-based, other like plant species that, contain DMT and stuff, that put you in an altered state of consciousness, and they do the same thing. They relax your mind. They slow down your thoughts to leave room for the other side to come through. You're being opened up. But the problem is you're opening up too far to where you don't have a screen door and you're just letting all the flies in. So when I look back at some of the stuff I channeled back then under the influence of alcohol, 50% of what I channeled is right, 50% of what I channeled is wrong. You can't trust what you channel at all because you're taking these substances that are opening you up too far. So the dark and the Joker spirits are like, oh boy. I know some meditation circles that use ayahuasca and they have problems with negative entities because the negative entities are like, yeah, woo. Because they can. You don't have a screen on you. So I do not suggest depending on a substance to connect with the other side at all. At all. Marijuana, alcohol, ayahuasca, LSD, ecstasy, what have you. Nothing. Because you can't trust a damn thing you get. Sometimes it'll be right. Sometimes it'll be wrong. But I got news for you. Those Joker spirits love to parade as spirit guides. So you are just asking for it. They'll give you just enough information that sounds correct, and it'll throw you off path. It'll sound like it's coming from your angels when it's really not. Don't suggest it. Don't suggest it. Been there, done that. Now, the other side got so frustrated with me because I wouldn't stop drinking alcohol to connect that I was at a New Year's Eve party sitting there drinking red wine, and the wine flew out of my glass. Like my hand just went and the wine flew out of my glass all over a white rug that had just been installed in their living room. And I felt horrible, and the other side came through loud and clear with that, and I never drank alcohol again. So that was the light getting frustrated with me and saying we said no alcohol. And so I did stop after that. I got the hint. When you have a paranormal experience like that in front of an audience full of people, you're like, oh, doke. That wasn't humiliating. I get it. So I can't stress enough. Please don't rely on a substance to connect to the other side, number one. Number two, if you feel like you need that substance like I did, that is a limited belief and an energetic block. You know what you're broadcasting to the universe? My intuition sucks. My intuition sucks. I can't do this on my own. Bam, you just screwed up your connection. You don't want to have that limited belief that you need a substance to connect. You don't. You don't. Because the dark will take advantage of you. They'll see you as a big juicy steak. So what if you're trying to connect to your spirit guides and you're desperate for an answer? I was like desperately trying to figure out a pregnancy a while back. And I was like focusing my mind on boy and girl, and my gut was like feeling the same for both, but then I felt like more energy, behind boy, and I'm like, oh, I guess, it's a boy. I don't know. I'm not really getting a strong answer because I'm used to clairaudience. I'm used to a lot of clairaudience, which is a voice, right? So I'm meditating, and it's kind of like the answer is just all over the place, and I'm getting really pissed off because I want an answer, and I feel like I should be able to get it like that. I'm just pissed. So the next day I'm on the treadmill at the gym, and I hear girl, and I'm like, oh, okay. So now you decide to tell me this. Thank you. Clear as day, girl. I'm like, all right, thank you. I did not get the answer when I wanted to. I got it later. They sent it to me when they felt like it. Whatever. It's not Burger King, unfortunately. So I guess that's why I wanted to let you guys know, don't grab onto their ankle. If you're stressed out about an answer, just wait until you're in a relaxed, calm, and loving state, and you'll get it eventually. But don't grab onto their ankle. Don't be like, where are you? Where's my answer? What the hell? Like I am sometimes. Just be patient. It'll come. I understand if you guys get pissed off at them. I really do. I mean, it definitely, it's part of the, it's part of the game to get pissed off at your spirit guides. It's only natural. But I do encourage you guys to just be patient and just trust that you will eventually get an answer. It might be like a feeling that you get while you're driving, an image, a thought, a sound, but just be open to receiving it. Maybe it'll come while you're, in the can. But if they know you desperately need an answer to something, usually they'll try to hook you up. Sometimes it's not always for your highest good to know. Sometimes they keep you from certain information because ignorance really is bliss. And this is where I was always interested in the psychics that solved crimes, because I was like, well, it's one thing to solve a crime, but it's another thing to fill them in on details. Like, yes, your daughter was raped and tortured and beaten and killed. And it's like, okay, aren't you happy you know exactly how she died now? Okay, go ahead. Where, sometimes it's just not for your highest good to know certain information. Exactly why did he break up with you? It's like, well, he thought your personality really sucked. And, it's like, ignorance sometimes is bliss. So if you don't get an answer, there's probably a reason for that. They're trying to protect you and heal you from something. Some things are left better better left unsaid. And so, like I was saying, I understand if you're pissed off at them. I had a situation recently where I was actually yelling at them, and I've done this before, but to be honest, it doesn't really serve me very well to yell at my spirit guides, because casting anger at the light is not a good idea ever, but whatever, I've done it because I've been angry. They gave me guidance that I would have taken more seriously if I had known why they were telling me to do that. And they didn't tell me why, so I just blew it off as just like a suggestion, like, no, I don't have to do that, whatever. And I didn't really take it that seriously. And I was like, you know what? If I was supposed to take this seriously, if I'm like way behind the 8 ball on this with regards to timing and just way behind, I really wish you guys would have, told me reasons why. And I was just getting really pissed off. And it was funny because I know how to talk to them at this point. I'm like, I know, I understand. Highest good. I understand. There's definitely a reason why you didn't tell me why. I get it. But I'm telling you, you would have gotten me to do what you were asking me to do. And they're just like, what did they show me? Oh yeah, blind faith and trust. And I'm like, I know blind faith and trust. I get blind faith and trust. I know. I'm just saying. It would have been better. I would have taken it more seriously than I did. And it never serves me well. It just never serves me well. I cast anger at them. It screws up my connection. It just never serves you. So just try to let it go and just know that there's a reason why they didn't give you a reason. They love providing guidance without reasons. Oh, how fun. I guess the divine isn't in the habit of explaining himself to me. But he always has strategy. There's always strategy for why he says what he says. Another trick is that they will latch on to your thoughts. So a large part of using your intuition is also using your imagination. Because what I do, and they help me with this a lot during readings, is I will picture the person's higher self. And I'll say, I want to speak to so-and-so's higher self. And then I'll imagine their higher self. And then what they'll do is they'll show me an image of the person's higher self, like sewing. And so I'll start the reading with like, hey, are you a seamstress? It's like, yes, I am, I'm a big sewer, blah, blah. So they took my thought and then they grabbed onto it. Like, oh, she's picturing her higher self. What is her higher self doing? She's sewing. Oh, okay. It's, trying to show me like heart-focused work or whatever. But they'll grab onto your thought, which is why a lot of teachers will teach you about the importance of imagining yourself sitting there talking to your higher self or talking to your spirit guide in a garden, in a nice, relaxed, calm, comfortable place to discuss what are you and your spirit guides talking about? What would you like to ask them? And it's these guided meditations. They're having you imagine yourself walking on the beach, being sensual. How does the sand feel below your feet? Can you hear the waves? How does the wind feel on your face? Can you taste the salty air? So they're using the power of your imagination, but then they're going to grab onto it and guide you forward. Maybe while you're walking on that beach, you see an image of a surfer. And you say, oh, do you surf? It's like, yes. Okay. They can do all sorts of stuff with you. They're guiding your mind forward. So that's why the way I do a read on a specific person or situation or relationship is I focus my mind on that. I think about it. And then that's when they guide me forward with feelings in my gut, images, sounds, thoughts, etc. That's how they do it, is they lead me down these trains of thought. Like I'll sit there during a pre-tune for a reading and write down what is the person's life purpose. And before I even finish like life purpose, it'll be like, surgeon or, whatever. Like, what is the person's life purpose? And it'll just like, it'll literally interrupt the thought I was having. Just why? Because my mind is focused on life purpose. So as soon as I get to that part of the sentence, bam, there it is. It shows up and it interrupts the thought I was having. Didn't come from my brain. So that's what they're doing. They'll take your hand I remember they were trying to show me set design. And it was really weird the way they showed it to me, because a lot of times clairvoyance, where they show you images, it turns into a game of charades because images need to be interpreted. But they showed me an image of her higher self, and then they showed me an image of her holding a paintbrush, and then they showed me her like painting a wall, and then they showed me an image of like a couch behind her where it looked like she was in a room. And then they made me feel like it was a set, like it was a, you know, like a set for like a movie or something. And so I got like set designer. And then during the session I said, do you like set design? And she's like, yes, I do. And I'm like, okay. But it was like this long, like, I don't know, it felt long. Like them just grabbing on to my mind and just guiding me for like paintbrush, wall, like, yeah. I think they were like probably trying to transition me over, because I think she like also liked to paint or something, and then they were transitioning me over to the interior design. They're very creative that way. But yes, it does turn into a game of charades, which can be pretty interesting sometimes. But yeah, don't be afraid to use your clairvoyance. It's still a nice modality. I mean, it annoyed me in the beginning when I was first developing my intuition. I was like, images, they have to be interpreted. Blah, just talk to me. But now I just fire on all 4 cylinders during readings. I just let the spirit guides do what they want. Just talk to me, however, because they're all strong modalities, and I appreciate all of them. You know, I really do. I think they're all strong modalities. It's interesting because Teresa Caputo, she explained that the way she sees it is like a film strip, like going by. Her clairvoyance is like a film strip, which is pretty cool. So pay close attention to what you imagine, because they're going to grab onto the thought and take it a step further. So that's why it's important. It's like half you and half them. It's like them taking your hand. Another thing that I want you guys to be gentle with yourself on is meditation. If you don't get an answer during meditation, just be mellow. Answers aren't always going to show up during meditation. Maybe they'll show up when you're in the shower or driving. You're not always going to get answers during meditation. So throw the question out there. Ask them to send you the answer later when you're relaxed and open. And then when the answer comes through, you'll be like, oh, that was the answer to my question. Thank you. Because it'll interrupt what you were doing. It'll take you by surprise. One time they sent me an answer when I was digging through my closet looking for my other shoe. And it was such a perfect time because I was like, where's my other shoe? Just like digging, and just came through. Perfect timing. Heard it loud and clear. They don't always give you what you want, but they will focus on giving you what you need. So sometimes we want answers that we don't get, but they'll always give us our highest good and what we need. So that's why I was saying sometimes ignorance is bliss. Sometimes you don't want to know the answer. So just trust your spirit guides. And another thing, don't be afraid to request modalities. Don't be afraid to request different modalities. Because when I first started learning, I started requesting clairaudience. Clairaudience for me is just the easiest because they're just talking to me, right? It's a voice. They're just talking to me. And that's why, like, don't be afraid to pick and choose your favorite modalities and just ask for them to be developed further. Like, hey, can you guys help me with my clairaudience? Or, hey, can you help me with my claircognizance? You know, I really want, that's like my favorite modality, and I really want to develop that the most. But otherwise, like during sessions, they use all 4 with me. So, but yeah, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need. There have been times where I'm just like, you know, I need you guys to come through louder, man. I was about to sign a contract, a legal contract. And I said, I need you guys to come through loud and clear. I need you to slap me across the face with the answer. And it was actually funny. They told me it was okay. And then after I signed the contract, they showed me an image of an umpire going, safe. And that was the umpire saying, it's okay. You signed it. You're okay. You're good. You're all right. So, and it was. So that made me happy. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to impart to you guys based on my personal experience and how it works, and just trust the process. Give yourself a break. Put one foot in front of the other, and know that intuitive development is not a race. It's also not a competition. It's not a comparison. I don't want you guys sitting there in a classroom comparing yourself to other people. It's like, oh, they're so much better than I am. You don't know. Maybe they've been having paranormal experiences since they were children. And maybe you're just now starting to get your feet wet. So give yourself a break. Self-love, kindness, pampering, patience. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with your spirit guides. Because if you are in a calm and loving state, you are more likely to get nice, clean, clear, and consistent answers. Okay? So I hope that helps you guys. I wish you all happy learning. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.